So, I'm HR Einstein and I'm here to talk to you about the business lessons that can be gained from the book and film Moneyball.
HR Einstein, both the book and film came out several years ago now. You are behind the times, but then you do have a moustache. I know it was all about big data.
Actually, the story of a baseball team in Oakland using a data-rich approach to beat better funded teams was a bit more than that. But people concentrated on the world's big data.
Okay, tell me more. I'm aware that Brad Pitt was in the film and that the little team won by spending less money. But I don't really understand baseball.
Neither do I, and I'm Einstein. The interesting thing about Moneyball wasn't just the big data approach, it was about diversity, culture and leadership choices.
Okay. But people are only talking about big data this year, it is the trendy thing. But I'll humor you by sitting and listening to the rest of it. Keep it short.
Lesson 1. Initially, Oakland's approach wasn't working. It was only when they removed some toxic high performers from the team that they started to perform. It wasn't all about data.
Interesting. I was thinking we could reach a point where we just recruit people by crunching numbers. It seems I have to remember that every person impacts team performance too.
Lesson 2. When recruiting, they looked to replace people in the aggregate. When they lost stars, they replaced their skills not in one person but in several of their next hires.
So if my super salesperson left, I wouldn't look for someone as good as them, but for my next hires to all be 10% better than the current team? That takes a lot of pressure off.
I'm glad you are enjoying this. Lesson 3. Recruiting diversity helped keep the salary bill down and keep the coaches innovative. They called this the art of winning an unfair game.
I like cheap and I like innovation. This all sounds brilliant. And to think they went on to win the World Series of Baseball.
They didn't. They lost in the playoffs. But the point is that they utilized their resources better than anyone else and made tough choices in line with their principles.
Thanks, that wasn't about big data at all. I need to only use the statistics to help inform choices. Not everything that counts can be counted, a wise man once said.
No, data was an important component of what they did. But strength of leadership and innovation were the overriding factors.
Together with realizing that a great team isn't the same as a collection of great individuals.
Aren't you glad I covered Moneyball rather than Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Well, yes and no.